Today we're going to do some frequently asked questions. The coldest I've ever been. Well, the winter chased me out of Scotland a few years ago, and I only had summer gear with me, and it caught up with me in the Cairngorms. Aside a few frosty nights, I do have a little tent heater that I use, which consists of a candle under a tin can with a terracotta plant pot on top, and that heats up the inside of your tent by a few degrees, so it becomes quite manageable. But I'd run out of tea light candles, so one of those nights it was -10 and I didn't get much sleep that night. The coldest I've ever been in my life was when I was living in Canada one winter, and I walked to the corner store, get some milk or something, and because the store was only like 25 yards from my front door, I didn't bother putting on a jacket or long trousers. I was wearing a pair of shorts, a t-shirt and flip-flops. Anyway, it was -50. That was the longest 25 yards of my life, that was. It was like getting repeatedly punched in the stomach by an icy fist. When I got in the shop, the people thought I was a zombie. But I was a roofer in Texas for about 10 years. And when it's 100 degrees on the ground, Fahrenheit, it's about 160 on the roof. Now, a lot of people I tell that don't believe me, but I couldn't believe the difference when I first got there. So I took a thermometer up on my second day. You know, one of those thermometers that you have on your porch, and put that on the roof. And after a few minutes, it exploded. So the next day I took a meat thermometer, and that hit 160. What's the hardest thing I've ever done? I think most of the days roofing in Texas would qualify. It was a real challenge to leaving myself out of bed every morning and go work in that hellhole. And I used to have to work angry to cope with it, so I was never very pleasant to be around. Aside from that, there are days when I've perhaps pushed myself a little bit too hard on the bike, usually because I have a deadline of some kind, so maybe I have to catch a ferry, or I think the worst day on the bike, I did 90 miles from Market Racing in Lincolnshire to Scarborough, coming back from the Alps, and I thought I'll just do it in one go. Rather than take 2 days to do it, I'll do it 45 miles a day. I'll do it in one go. And I was in tatters by the time I got home. I could barely walk. I couldn't cycle anymore. I was pushing, and I could barely walk. And I couldn't move. For 2 or 3 days after that, I couldn't move. What it does do, it shows you that you can push yourself further than what you thought were your physical limits. You dig deep into your willpower. I don't like doing this though. If I find myself having to work that hard, something's gone terribly wrong.